And so I'll just introduce myself briefly. My name is Grace Njeri. I have a tendency of just introducing one name until I've been corrected enough times. So it's Grace Njeri, but I prefer Gracie. That's what I prefer. I work for an organization known as Pearls and Treasures Trust, where I work as a crisis pregnancy counselor. So in a nutshell, we normally help or we normally provide psychosocial support to pregnant ladies and help them to make a better informed decision. Yeah, so that is Gracie in a nutshell. So today we're going to talk about no strings attached. But before we go in, before we do the dig deep into that topic, I just want to start by saying that the world of modern dating has become very complicated. You know, there are many types of relationships that are emerging, and there are new ways of defining relationship. And so one has to be very careful, and one has to take time to weigh the pros and the cons of this type of different types of relationships, because you can easily go with the waves, you know, because we are living in a very dynamic world where we have issues to do with LGBTQ, we have issues to do with lesbianism and all those things. And so today's world, I think one has to be as sharp as a serpent, if I may say, and one has to make very informed decision about the type of relationship they are indulging in. And so I also want to begin by saying relationships are by choice and not feelings. This is one thing I think we are getting it wrong, especially as young people, you know. Especially I've heard people saying we are getting married for the wrong reasons, because relationships are not, it's about choices, but not feelings. Because a time comes and the feelings die or the feelings fade away. So what happens when that time comes? You know, what happens when the feelings are no longer there? So at the back of our minds, we have to know that these are choices, that the relationships we have, it is a choice that we made. And so I'll briefly just take us through the different types of relationships that we have. We have different types of relationships. One type of relationship is family. This can either be nuclear or extended. We all know the nuclear type of family is mother, father, sister, brothers, and then we have extended aunties, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and so forth. We also have friends as also a type of relationship, where we have acquaintances, we have good friends, we have close friends, we have intimate friends. We also have colleagues who also we also tend to have a relationship with. These are colleagues maybe we've met in school. These are colleagues maybe we met at work. These are colleagues maybe we met in any organized setting. Maybe we were working together for a period of time, or we were spending time together for a certain period of time. We also have authority figures as a type of relationship. These are people like our parents, our guardians, our teachers, our spiritual leaders, our political leaders, and other leaders of whatever capacity, those who have authority over us, those who have authority of our lives. And we also have romantic relationships. These are boyfriends, girlfriends, fiance, fiance, husbands, and wife. So those are the major types of relationships that I just wanted to highlight, even as we begin this topic of no strings attached. So it's very shocking to know that this no strings attached has an abbreviation, which is NSA. I was really amazed to find out that, and it's something that is really being used widely in the internet, the abbreviation NSA. And so basically, no strings attached is a type of relationship where two people are together for intimacy purposes, but are not committed to each other in any way. So it is a sexual type of relationship, and there is no friendship, there is no romantic commitments or components. So it's purely a relationship, as purely a relationship where two people come together for the sake of satisfying each other sexually or for intimacy purposes, and there are no commitments, there are no components or anything. And this no strings attached type of relationship is similar to the friends with benefits. It's similar to the situationships. So they are similar because this type of relationships tend to have an agreement that their relationships only involve sex and are not considered exclusive. Just 1 minute. And they are not considered exclusive. So it's as so we can categorize this no strings attached relationship. It can be in the same category as friends with benefits as well as situationships. Now, the key word in this type of relationship is sexuality. And I tend to believe that this type of relationship can also be similar when we have a married man with a mistress, because I look at it from this perspective. The married man is giving this young girl money and other material benefits, while this girl in return is satisfying this man sexually. So in a way, it can also this type of this thing of mistresses type of relationship can also very fit in a way to this no strings attached kind of relationship. And so it's because now we have seen that the key word in this no strings attached type of relationship is sexuality, because remember, this is a relationship where two people are coming together for intimacy purposes and to just satisfy each other sexually. And the rate at which our young people are engaging in sexual intimacy outside the confines of marriage is very alarming. So in a setup of a no strings attached kind of relationship, remember, there are no rules around this type of relationship. There are no rules between the two people about dating other people. So this now brings up the issues of unwanted pregnancies. It brings up, because it is sexual, so most likely it leads to diseases such as HIV and AIDS, such as sexually transmitted infections or sexually transmitted diseases. And it encourages a lot of promiscuity, because remember, we have in this type of relationship, we don't have any boundaries. We are not exclusive. We are not answerable to each other, as we are just two people who are coming together to satisfy our intimate needs or our intimate desires. And whoever you choose to date out there, whatever you choose to do with your body out there, most likely it's not any of our businesses. Ours is just this, and to just satisfy each other intimately. And so in a no strings attached kind of relationship, you find that there is no emotional connection. There is no room you cannot you cannot afford to develop feelings for each other, because at the end of the day, this kind of relationship is just meeting this need of intimacy, and we are nothing else, we are nothing more than that at that particular time. And should one should one develop should one party in this type of relationship develop feelings for the other person, most likely those feelings will not be reciprocated, or they will not the other partner will not be able to develop feelings for the other party, because it's one relationship that has no emotional attachments. And with time, one may feel like they want more serious commitment since they have spent time together. And so this only leads to one path, which is and heartbreak and heartache. Because now these are two people who have been together in a no strings attached relationship. And now we know in most instances, through sex, we develop intimacy, we develop feelings for each other. And so it might reach a point in this relationship where one party desires serious commitment from the other party. But now the other party is looking at their relationship as a no strings attached, meaning all they need to do is satisfy each other intimately. And so this just leads to heartaches. This just leads to heartbreaks, just leads to pain, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, your feelings cannot be reciprocated by the other party. And so we move on. And in most instances, when two people are in a no strings attached type of relationship, most likely it prevents them from looking for serious relationships outside, because this is what maybe this is all they want, this is all they desire. They are stuck to this one person, because with a no strings attached type of relationship, there are no commitments, there are no questions, there are no do's, there are no don'ts. These are two people who know what they are in this relationship for, and the person is comfortable with these arrangements, and sometimes it prevents one from looking elsewhere for a serious relationship. And this is because one is spending their time, their focus, and energy on casual endeavors. So all their energy, all their focus, all their time is spent on this casual endeavor. So they don't see the urge, they don't see the need to be able to look for other serious relationships, or either other long-lasting relationships. And I tend to think people who engage in these no strings attached relationships are people who most likely may have been in serious relationships, but it did not work for them. So now they saw, when I was in a serious committed relationship, things did not work for me. Now let me go into a relationship where it's just exclusive, where we are just what do you say? Where we are just satisfying each other sexually, instead of me looking for a relationship, looking for commitment, because they've been hurt in other types of relationships, and so they feel all they need is to be in this no strings attached type of relationships. And so a no strings attached relationship, it also brings envy. It also brings jealousy. This could trigger a victim to do to be harmful either to themselves or to be harmful to the other party. Why do I say this? Because now we are in a no strings attached relationship, and there are no commitments, and your partner is free to see other people. So this could trigger envy, this could trigger jealousy, this could trigger, heart to be like you look at the other person like a betrayer because they are seeing other people, and so this could lead to envy, this could lead to jealousy, this could lead to one even going to the extent of being harmful to themselves or also being harmful to the other party. And it can also lead to suicide or trauma. Why do I say this? The fact that, so now maybe we've been in a no strings attached relationship for some time, and then it reaches a point, one of the partners decides they no longer want this arrangement that we have, and they decide that they want a serious relationship that could lead to long-term relationship that could lead to marriage. And so when one partner sees the other partner moving on and looking for a lasting relationship, as the other partner, as an individual, they may feel like they have been used. They may feel like they have been dumped. They may feel like they were just being used as a tool for sex, because now this other party has decided, you know what, I'm tired of this arrangement, this casual sex arrangement we have. And for me now, I'm looking for a lasting relationship. And it's definitely this type of a relationship, no strings attached, it's definitely a crisis in someone's life. Like you live, with this person, like you're not committed to each other. And so the moment the person decides to move on, it hurts you so much. Because at the end of the day, I think it's important to teach our young people that we develop feelings for one another through sex. Sex cannot be casual. With time, the bond grows. That's why when people who have been sexually active are separating or they are breaking up, it tends to be harder than those who did not engage in any sexual activity. Because truth be told, sex is the glue, for let me use that terminology. It's the glue that puts two people together. It links two people together. So by the time you've been in a no strings attached relationship with someone, you've been having sex. You people have formed you have formed a bond. You have formed a certain commitment. And now, when one party decides to walk, the other party will feel bad. The other party will feel used. The other party will feel like they have been used, as a sex tool. And so it's also a type of relationship that is non-committal. And so they tend to find it hard to settle in marriage. Now, a person who has been in a no strings attached relationship would find it so hard to be committed to one partner. They would find it so hard to settle down in marriage because marriage is exclusive and it requires commitment and it requires accountability. So in the uh, no strings attached setup, this person was used to, we are here together, we just satisfy each other sexually. There are no commitments, there are no components, there are no boundaries. We are not answerable to each other. We are not accountable to each other. We are just satisfying each other sexually. So now such a person would find it so hard to even settle down in marriage, because now marriage requires commitment, marriage requires accountability, marriage requires boundaries. So people who have gone through a no strings attached kind of relationship find it hard now to come and settle down in marriage. And I also see this type of relationship, no strings attached in marriages. I remember one time in the news, newspaper or in the media, there was a story that was running that there's a group of couples who usually meet. And when they meet as a couple, like husband and wife, the wife can go meet other people, the husband can go meet other people, and so I was like, so now where's the sanctity of marriage in that type of relationship? Because marriage is where, we are committed to each other. You cannot just walk, if you walk out and meet other people and you are involved with them sexually, then we say you are cheating. Then we say you are, then now the marriage has been defiled, or the marriage now becomes, then we can say there's no marriage there. But I have seen couples who say that the other party is free to go around, the other party is free to meet other people, which I think really doesn't make sense in the marriage setup. And also, I would classify no strings attached as a toxic relationship. Now we have to remember that authentic relationships, they build us, but toxic relationships, they destroy us. And this no strings attached is a very good definition of a toxic relationship, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, there's a void that comes out of this relationship, because at the end of the day, the person still feels empty. The person still longs for more. The person still, like, there's something that they're not able to confront in their lives. And it could also be the reason why many young people could be indulging in this type of relationship, no strings attached. It could also be a trauma informed, thing, because of trauma, childhood trauma, because maybe they did not get that affection that they needed, or maybe there's something that they need to bury, and that's why all they want is someone to satisfy them sexually. And I think, I'm afraid, maybe people who have been raped, maybe this is one place they would say, I'm not good enough for a serious committed relationship. All I need is someone to satisfy me sexually, and my life goes on. But we also have to look at the sexual aspect of this kind of relationship. You see, sex is sacred. And, my time, I remember my auntie teaching me that hugging a boy could get you pregnant. And we really had, I was really troubled with that, to the extent that when I got to campus, I found it hard to hug boys until then is when it hit me. It's not that way. All she was saying is that don't be too close, that you have a sexual, intimate relationship with them. And so we have to teach our young people that sex is not casual. Sex is sacred, and sex is meant for marriage. I always tell young people, sex is good, and it is a gift from God, and it is God who created this sex. But it has to be done at the right time, at the right place, and with the right person. So you cannot tell me that we can be in a relationship and all we are doing is having sex, and then tomorrow I have sex with another person, the next day you have sex with another person. That is destroying the meaning of sex. And through sex we develop feelings, and I think I mentioned this earlier. So if you're in a no strings attached relationship, with time you start developing feelings for the other party. And now what happens when you develop feelings for the other party? Now, for the other party, all they see you is, sorry to use this word, as a sex object. For them, they don't see you beyond that. And even when it comes to friends with benefits, You see, these are friends who come together to benefit from one another. But that friendship cannot go back to how it used to be before they started benefiting from one another. So it also jeopardizes relationships, you know. It also brings chaos between two people or between friends, because you've already contaminated your friendship with all these complications. And so when we look, and after we look at what no strings attached kind of relationship and its implications, there is a need to encourage our young people to cultivate or to desire to have healthy types of relationships where their emotional, socially, intellectual, and spiritual needs are met, you know. And a healthy relationship is defined as an emotional connection or attachment that one has to another. You know, it is a God-given desire to belong and to connect to someone. God is a God of relationships, because the first relationship he had a relationship, there was a relationship between God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit. And so our young people need to desire to have relationships that are holistic, you know, relationships that are building them all round, and not a relationship that is just satisfying one aspect of their lives, which is sexually. No, we need the young people to be able to desire to have long-lasting relationships, relationships that are bringing value to their lives, relationships that are not destroying them, relationships that are not taking them deeper and deeper to the enemy's trap. Because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, this no strings attached relationship just destroys their lives. You know, it just destroys them slowly by slowly. And by the time maybe they come to learn the damage they have done to their lives, they realize that they have fallen into a very deep pit, and to arise may take time. And you know, some even end up committing suicide, because remember, we have been together with this person, we've been having sex, and then I see this person moving on, I see him getting married, I see him getting a family. Me, I have been left there as Gracie. I have been feel like I have been used. I was just used as a tool of sex. It just easily leads to suicide. It just easily leads to depression. It just easily leads to me just wanting to destroy my life. And so with that, I am done. I think we can have time for questions. Yes.
Thank you. So I have a question.
Yes.
Now that you mentioned about healthy and toxic relationships with relations to having relationships that have no strings attached. So let's say it's a scenario actually. Let's say there's a situation where there's a relationship with the opposite sex. So there's no physical intimacy involved, but there's I would say mutual attraction, and there's a sense that both of you probably are like, we're not ready for this, but we're still friends, and we have certain benefits where they are probably too friendly with each other, but nothing physical. Would that, now speaking about toxic relationships and relationships that would that be like a no strings related kind of relationship? I'm just curious.
Okay, so I'll answer that question from Cess. I wouldn't call that a no string. Yes?
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't refer that type of a relationship as a no strings attached relationship, Because remember when we were introducing the type of no strings attached relationship, the key word in this kind of relationship is usually intimacy and satisfying each other sexually. So it says we will not call that no strings attached relationship, because remember when we're defining a no strings attached relationship, we say the key word is sexuality. So if you're not sexually then active, then would not define that as a no strings attached relationship, because you're not being intimate with one another. Now, to know whether this is a toxic or an authentic relationship, we say that authentic relationship builds you. A toxic one destroys you. So is it is this other person building you? Is this other person making you a better version of yourself? Are they meeting, are you both meeting each other's emotional needs, social needs, intellectual needs, and spiritual needs? Or is one party using the other? Or is there, do you know where this relationship is leading? Because we say if we don't know where the relationship is leading, if we don't know where our relationship is leading, then we could say then we are not on the same page. And maybe it could be, we could in a way classify it toxic, because now it's because one person, maybe one is benefiting, maybe in other ways, is benefiting in one way or the other. But I'll not classify this as a no strings attached, you know. And then also, it's always important for relationships to have a goal. What is our end goal? Where are we taking this relationship to? We cannot say we are just there. We cannot just be there. It must be a goal in the relationship. I don't know, Seth, if I've been able to answer you or you still need more clarity.
Yeah. That very much answers it. At least now I know when we say that we're trying to see where this is going, then there's a bit of a problem somewhere. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for that clear talk on these difficult issues, which is also a very wide topic. The one thing that I find most of, especially the youth, are struggling with is, how long should one date? And then how long, like if you, how do they know this is the right person? So for the Christians, it's very clear. I mean, at least you have a reference point. But for the non-Christians, there are too many too many ideas floating out. So they normally get muddled up. But I'm sure there must be an absolute somewhere. So how do you advise these ones who necessarily you cannot quote the Bible to them, but you still need to help them? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And Grace, before I give it back to you, I also want to add on the same line, it's not even about the ones who are not Christians. At the moment, it's like a lifestyle or a culture that you have developed where automatically, even if you're together, we first live together. And I don't know, people say it's testing. And then we do maybe the rest later, or we fail to proceed with the rest of the process of marriage and all that, and the preparation for the same. And also, I don't know, friends with benefits or no strings attached, don't you think also the bit where I'm in it because I'm gaining something from the other person can still count on the no strings attached? Because you want to gain maybe financially or something else from this person. Maybe you're in campus, so you want to get the benefit of someone signing for you in class and all that. Is that a different category? Is this one strictly just when sex is involved? Thank you.
So I'll begin by saying I find like there's a thin line between the no strings attached and friends with benefits. Because if I have a friend who is in campus and signs for me the signing sheet or does things for me and I do something for them in return, then yeah, that's a friend of benefit. That's a friend with benefits. When it comes to no strings attached, I tend to see that it leans more on the intimacy part, because they are coming together to satisfy each other sexually. But friends with benefits, we can be friends of benefits because Kathy, you buy me lunch every day, or you send me lots of money every day. We could be friends with benefits. But when it comes to no strings attached, I see it leans more a lot to the intimacy part. I hope I've been able to answer you, Kathy, on that one.
Yes, thank you.
So I wanted to answer the other question about how do we advise non-Christians who are getting muddled up? It's so funny because I don't see this problem with non-Christians only. I see it also with Christians. Some of us are Christians, we go to church, we go for mass, but we'll still make the wrong decisions when it comes to dating, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to courtship. You'll still find I'm a Christian, but I'm still going for someone who we are unequally yoked. So I tend to see the problem it's also with Christians because it's something that is affecting the youth today. The youth today want an easy life. They want things on a silver platter, but they don't want to hear the truth because the truth hurts and they don't want to wait. They want instant generation. And so how do I advise a non-Christian or even a Christian who is getting muddled up in maybe making a wrong decision concerning a partner? And I don't have to quote the Bible for them. All I would be able to encourage them is to sit down and evaluate this relationship. As I said earlier, if the relationship is authentic, then it's building you up. I don't have to be a Christian, but if this relationship is building me up, or if I'm seeing this relationship is healthy, then I'm good to go. But now, if we see toxic traits, toxic traits like I'm always questioning the relationship, I'm always questioning my sanity in this relationship, I'm always questioning who we are in this relationship. I think I would tell someone today in terms of relationship, if you're in a relationship and you're always questioning who we are, or you don't know where you are going together, or you don't know the end goal of that relationship, then you are in the wrong relationship. You are in a toxic relationship. Or am I emotionally healthy in this relationship? So it's a matter of them sitting down and not necessarily praying and reading the Bible and all that. No, because even Christians, we read the Bible, we pray our rosaries, we go for mass, but we still end up making the wrong decisions. It's about sitting down as Gracie with a paper and a pen and writing, what do I want as Grace? What am I looking for? What are my negotiables, or what are my non-negotiables? What are if I choose to be in a no strings attached relationship, for example, today, you can tell them. If you choose to be in a relationship where you're sexually active, then write down, what do you think are the pros? What do you think are the cons? Can I live with these pros? Can I live with these cons? So it's all about the person just sitting down and be truthful to themselves. Because remember, at the end of the day, we can't force people to be in certain relationships, or we cannot advise them to leave this relationship or not to be in this kind of relationship, but we can help them, we can guide them towards making informed decisions regarding the type of relationships that would be healthy for them. So it's all about telling them, for example, my small sister, my small brother, should we choose to be in a no strings attached relationship, these are the pros, these are the cons, these are the consequences, this is what happens with the consequences, this is what I should expect, these are the end goals. Now you can help this person and guide them and ask them, is this what you want? Is this the kind of life that you want to build for yourself? Is this the kind of life that you would like to live? So it's all about giving guidance, but it's not all about forcing them to make decisions. Because remember, decision making, I always believe it's personal. All I can do is guide this person, sit them down, explain to them, this is what is happening. This is what is expected when you make these kind of decisions. And it's all about showing them, the true meaning of what marriage is and how sacred, marriage is, that it's something that we don't rush into. It's something that we sit down and we really think about it. It's something that it's a long-term decision that you need to make an informed decision about it. Because I believe it's not all about the prayers and the reading of the Bible. There are people who go for mass every day and they still make the wrong decisions. So I hope I've been able to answer that question. Yeah.